Do we want kindness? Do we want fairness? Do we want democracy? Or are we going to let them walk all over us?
Younger generation, you have to vote. We really believe that this is beyond politics.
Right now at 5, a day of protest across Southern California and nationwide. People of all ages gathering in cities big and small for No Kings rallies. We are live with what's happening in your area.
NBC4 News at 5 starts with breaking news.
And that breaking news, those protests now in full swing. News Chopper 4 over the massive crowd in downtown L.A. Thank you for joining us. I'm Kathy Vara.
And I'm Camilla Rambaldi in for Jonathan Gonzalez. This is all part of the third No Kings Day of action. Protesters trying to send a message to President Trump and pushing back against his policies. Right
now, let's go out live to News Chopper 4 with what the crowds look like. And while we don't have exact numbers coming in just yet, organizers here in the U.S. expect this day to be the largest so far. That would make it the largest nonviolent protest in U.S. history.
Tens of thousands are expected to take part in Southern California. See those protests underway right now, and we are seeing crowds from the IE to the coast to Altadena to Orange County and beyond.
And we have put together a full list of the events on our website. You can see it there. You can find information as we move along at NBCLA.com. We have live team coverage from across our area. We're going to begin with our Ryan Williams up in News Chopper 4 with the protests and the march happening right now in downtown L.A. and also the concerns with the 101 freeway nearby. Ryan?
Yes, so we are taking a look at right outside of City Hall where the official march has ended here right on Spring Street. But we are noticing there are still some people waving flags, holding handmade signs here, right here in Grand Park. But one thing I did want to show you, just over here by the 101 freeway, we did see that Caltrans and CHP have installed gates here right off of the 101 freeway. That as of right now are open, but as we can see, there are a few more protesters who have left Spring Street and the City Hall area and have started to make their way over here by the 101 freeway. So no word if those gates are going to be closed anytime soon, but as these crowds start to build up, we may see that happen. Back to you all in the studio.
All right, Ryan, thank you so much for that update. We will continue to monitor.
Right now, we want to get to Tracy Leong. She is there with the perspective on the ground.
And she's been out there all day long talking to protesters there. And Tracy, what is their message?
Yeah, Kathy and Camilla, their message is clear. They have to show up to send a message to the Trump administration that they are protesting their policies. We're here near the Gloria Molina Park. People started to show up here around 2 o'clock this afternoon. They marched through the area around 3, and now we're starting to see people leave this area, go to other areas because they say that this demonstration is wrapping up for now. But we saw people protesting a wide range of issues, from immigration enforcement to the war on Iran to rising gas prices. This demonstration here in downtown LA is one of more than 3,000 No Kings protests that we're seeing happening across the country. Now, organizers say millions of supporters are joining their movement for the single largest nonviolent day of action. It is the third No Kings demonstration since June of 2025. The second was in October. People here in downtown LA say they're here to protest the policies peacefully.
About police brutality, about ICE, what they do in our country. I saw all movement in here. Meanwhile, I am an anti-war, not because I am Iran, U.S. is bombing Iran. If it was Nicaragua, it was Honduras, I still would have done the same.
I'm against ICE. I'm against these massive deportations, and they're harming communities, and they're harming innocent people, and I just don't think it's right.
The turnout was better than the last one. It's continuing to get better. I think basically people are realizing they have to show up. It's not to say that this march today is going to make a difference, but if we didn't show up, it would make a difference.
And protesters here tell me that this one was larger than the other No Kings protests that they've seen in the downtown LA area. Reporting live, Tracy Leong, NBC4 News.
All right, Tracy, thank you. And just before we came on the air, our News Chopper 4 saw this. Already at least one scuffle at the federal building. Protesters were kicking the black fencing around the building when law enforcement came out, and it appears as though they deployed less than lethal rounds. We have seen several instances where things have gotten a little bit out of control, especially as we get toward night. So we're going to keep an eye on this as we move along.
And like we've said, many more events are happening nationwide. You can see just a few of them here on your screens. Senator Bernie Sanders, Bruce Springsteen, and Jane Fonda were in St. Paul, Minnesota. Another up in San Francisco, Boston, and Chicago.
And you can see the totality of the protests right here on a map we have made. There are more than 3,000 planned protests all across the country, with organizers expecting millions of people. We are monitoring others in Mexico City, Kenya, South America, and several across Europe.
So how did this all start? You may remember the first No Kings protest held in June of last year. It was organized in response to President Trump's decision to hold a military parade in Washington, D.C. on his birthday. The second round of rallies were held in October of last year. Today is the third day. Immigration has been one of the major issues for protesters. Today's flagship rally is in St. Paul, Minnesota, the site of January's immigration enforcement operation, in which two Americans, Alex Preddy and Renee Good, were killed.
And President Trump has not commented specifically on today's protest, but last night the White House did release this statement saying, quote, "The only people who care about these Trump derangement therapy sessions are the reporters who are paid to cover them."
We want to continue our team coverage now with the protests in Orange County. NBC4's Amber Frias is live in Anaheim.
And Amber, you covered the No Kings protest at the same spot last year, so wondering if there are any differences this year.
Hey, Kathy, Camilla, that's right. I covered the very first No Kings protest that took place last June. And I would say pretty much the same amount of people showed up today. The biggest difference I am seeing is that people today are adhering to the scheduled end date of the demonstration. We saw thousands of people here today. The demonstration started at 2 p.m., but was scheduled to end at 5, which just happened. And we are seeing people starting There was also a scheduled end time. I can't remember off the top of my head, but I do remember people stayed here past that time, and they didn't really clear the area until it got dark. Now, I also want to mention that we do want to make sure you are keeping an eye on that downtown protest, so you are able to see that on your screen. But out here, like you could see, less people than the thousands we saw earlier. I would say there are still a couple hundred out here. We did see a lot of families out here, people of all ages, really. Also, a lot of groups that came out here today set up really, we were here to talk to those here, why they came out, and here's what they had to say.
We're just here to remind people that we're going to stand collectively in solidarity against oppression.
We are here for all the multitude. Go down the list. War, no war, immigration, we need reform, but this ICE stuff is terrible. Taking people, the rule of law is taking a beating right now. All the tariffs that he put in are putting the American public less and less affordability.
My neighbors are struggling to
And the event here in Anaheim was centered around La Palma Park, where speakers and groups representing organizations gathered in the center. Most people, though, lined around the park waving signs. We saw many signs with anti-Trump messages, anti-ICE, and also anti-war. Organizers told me they estimate around 10,000 people made it out here today. And many of today's attendees told us they were encouraged by the size of the crowd.
This is Anaheim. This is Orange County, so it's amazing.
We're not out here with being violent. We're trying to do a peaceful protest, and I got here and I was like, I'm about to like cry. Like it's a bit overwhelming, but it's beautiful.
And this was Orange County's largest event today. There were several other events across the county, but this was the main one for the county. And again, we saw thousands of people here. Like organizers told us, they estimate 10,000 people were out here at one point. Right now, most people are starting to leave the area. Still a few hundred, I would say, left. But again, this event has come to an end and more people have started to clear the area. But for now, reporting live from Anaheim, Amber Frias, NBC4 News.
Thank you, Amber. We are streaming coverage of these No Kings rallies right now on NBCLA.com and the NBCLA app. You can watch along. You can also dive into the history behind the No Kings protests.
Much more ahead, the funding freeze with DHS and the potential